You know, you have two different perspectives. People who are feeling great, ready for Christmas, and others who are just miserable because there are things going on in their lives that they either share with you or they don't. But they're dealing with them. Most of them are health related, actually, or financial. So you've got a lot going on in the world. We're dealing with a very difficult economy this last year. I know that there were a lot of people who stocked up on the previous years, so they maybe are sitting and they're okay. They have a little bit of a comfort zone around them, but it's getting scary out there for many Americans, not only Americans, for people around the world. And so this Christmas isn't necessarily the happiest of times for people. So people are out there like trying to figure out how to scrape together enough to get that one more gift for their kid to make it special. And that's the difficult part of every holiday, is when you realize the enormity of your responsibility. And some of those responsibilities are out of your control, like other people in your life, and who mean a lot to you. And all of a sudden the burden of worrying about others starts to play in. And for this Christmas too. You know, I'm the host of the longest running daily variety show. I've been here 1,818 days in a row, trying to lift the world up with positivity. But everybody goes through things. Most of them don't share what they're going through. I've been pretty clear and open about this. I built a cane for my father about a week ago. He's dealing with cancer right now, and he's not coming home for Christmas. He's going to be at the hospital, and that is heartbreaking to all of us, to me, to the whole world. That's his world. And so how do I go out and be a positive force on you guys? How do I go out and be a positive force on the world when I've got such a burden on my shoulders? One of the most important people in my life is going through this right now. And I still show up here every day and I put positivity out into the world. I write songs. I try to get here in the moment, and I hold everything else aside for a little while to be here with you and do something unique. That's probably the only way I'm able to stay sane. If I didn't have this show, regardless of who shows up on a daily basis and knows I exist, if I didn't have the opportunity to express self fully, I think I would be living in a different type of misery. When you have these conflicting feelings inside and you can't control them, some of them you have no control over. This is about otherworldly details in other lives. You can't get into everybody's life. It's like you have all these other lives around you that are taking place, and even in your own, you have no control, really. Only what do you eat? You know, do you exercise? Those are the little things we can do. Outside of that, there is an ultimate plan in place for each and every one of us. So how do we do it? How do we show up every day and say, okay, I'm going to put a foot in front of the other and be as positive as possible? Let's delve into it. Matt Zabrowski, it starts with a woohoo. It starts with a woohoo. Zabrosk? Woohoo! That's how you do it. Sometimes when you're needing it, you just tune into the Mark Inspire show and get the woohoo at the first 3 minutes of the show. And then you're in it. You're going. No, but, you know, seriously, it's difficult. It's not easy. Sometimes you're not even thinking about what's going on in the room. You know? Sometimes you're in your own mind thinking about something or someone else, and you can't even focus on what the task or on the conversation that's taking place because you're so worried. So what happens? Christmas comes and you're there and you don't have the people around you want to have around you, or they can't be there. It's a weird rock to feel on your shoulder. And I think that you have to understand, even though that's going on, there are all these other people around you that could potentially be feeling the magic of Christmas, and they could potentially be feeling the way you once felt about it. And this is what we have to try to do, is to separate ourselves from self and say, how do we put ourselves into the shoes of those around us? And in our efforts to build others up and allow them to feel and experience the beauty of Christmas, the magic of Christmas, I believe that is our escape route from misery. You use the people around you who are feeling the magic, who are feeling the positivity, and you work off of each other. You give them an opportunity to share that positivity with you when you need it most, by giving them an opportunity to be and to enjoy. It was sad. One of my sons, I have one son, two daughters, but my son said, this kid ruined Christmas for me. when he was in like, he was like first grade, you know, and like one of the kids who's not Catholic ruined Christmas for him. He said, Santa, what are you kidding me? You believe in this? You're an idiot. You know, it's like, and ripping on my son for believing in the spirit and the gift of Christmas. Now, I believe it's been lost. It's a pagan holiday. So that the idea here is that you build some sort of brotherly love during Christmas. It's when you really care about your neighbor and show it. So how do we do that? I'm not feeling that great, right? I got this going on, I got that going on, but I see this kid over here who's smiling ear to ear. This is his maybe second real Christmas where he's like aware of everything. He's like, man, it's coming up, you know? Like my daughter, she's 8. She's so pumped. Where are the stockings? Daddy, we got to find the stockings. Like, and then I'm looking at her and I'm thinking to myself, man, that's such beautiful magic right there. I can grab onto that. I can connect with that. And so the one thing I think you have to be able to do when you're feeling that way is somehow allow yourself to break away from that feeling for a second to be aware of what's going on around you. There's magic all around you. And then remember, it's like, even if you can't even see it, remember at one point in your life you felt it. One point in your life you also felt the magic of Christmas. You felt the energy of it, the music, all through the airwaves. You smell it in the air, you know? We get jaded by everything in life. Yeah, I hate the smell of Christmas. I don't like eggnog. It's like, we start with this excitement. You look at anything, you're like, oh my goodness, look at that. It's the first timer. The first timer. You just throw in your picks. Whatever. It's a freaking pick. Everything loses its original magic. But when you have lost it completely and you don't know where to turn, and all you want to do is yell at someone when they knock on the door, and you want to be a Grinch, you want to say, you know what? Screw you. You're so happy and I'm not. Remember what Dr. Wayne Dyer said. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. It's very easy to go bitter. It's very easy to be angry. It takes real fortitude to stand up for yourself and say, you know what? I can be better than this feeling. Look at that kid. How are they able to feel like that when I feel like this? That's right. They don't have the weight of the world on their shoulders yet. This is one of their first Christmases. The magic is still in the air for them. Me, I'm just an old bitter man. Have the strength, have that fortitude to step back for a second and realize the gravity of the people around you. They can ground you when you need it most. So, I hope that makes some sense for you guys. You know, these messages are all in the moment. I don't have them planned. I don't have words planned. I live here in the moment 1,818 days in a row. So if you like what I say, subscribe to my YouTube channel because they'll never let you see me again if you don't. And even when you do, make sure you turn on all notifications because they won't even share my content with you when you do subscribe. These are freaking facts. So you have to seek me out every day. And I'll tell you one thing that's guaranteed. I'm here 1,818 days in a row of a live show. And now it's 2 live shows a day, morning and evening. Lift you up in the morning, get you into the day so you could break any sort of negativity out of your life. And then we get together every night and write music and connect. This is a connection show. This is a place where you can let it all go for an hour. So if that's something that interests you, my name is Mark Pyers. The show is Mark Inspires. And I have a mission to try to bring some positivity to this world. And I believe that's why I'm such a threat to the people in charge. Because I believe words that I speak, like what we just spoke about here, how to get through Christmas and not be a Grinch. The whole world needs that message, but they'll share it with 20 people, 30 people. Powerful, passionate voices are being held from you. People that can connect us are being held from you. If it's not divisive, they won't share it. If it doesn't bleed, it don't lead. They always say positivity is like, the effect of positivity is it takes so long for it to really start to affect, but negativity immediately. Like, you have one negative review, your business is done. You can have 1 million positive reviews and it's like you start to finally build. So positivity is so undervalued. And negativity is so valued. Think about that for a second. The people that control these social media channels, they see higher cost value to negativity than positivity. By tenfold, at least. If it's negative, get it out there, guys. We got to have controversy. You don't want a positive message out there where all these people are coming in together that are typically hating on each other. Like, yeah, I could get on that. I totally agree that we should be coming together. Let's forget about our paltry earth, self. We're all about self. We have to start thinking about collective. If we want to survive this, and when I say this, I mean the media storm, the war against the people. You guys think that we're not at war? We're already at war. It's just not the one you think. This is cyber warfare for years now. Manipulation at the highest levels. I put a piece of content up because I'm freaking blown away. It's December 23rd, 2023, and I'm driving and I see someone outside walking with the stupid mask on still. And guys, come on. You got 97 shots and you're wearing masks still. Like, what are we doing? It's mental. It's totally mental. Either trust the science and take the stupid mask off, or I don't know what to tell you, but it's been 4 years, and if you get it now, it's not what it was day one. Just like the 1918 flu, it wasn't as bad as it was in 1922. Still out there. And it's not the one. It's everywhere. I see people still doing it. And I just titled it, Tell Me You Watch the Mainstream Fake News National Enquirer Media Without Telling Me You Watch the Mainstream Fake News National Enquirer Media. Bat with Human Ear, page 4. I'm waiting for it, guys. I'm waiting for the mainstream to come out. Guys, there's a bat with a human ear. It's at 4 today. As soon as they say it's at 4, I'm like, holy freaking cow, the National Enquirer is running the mainstream media. Right? Bat with human ear. That used to be my favorite one when I was a kid. It's like, what? There's a bat with a human ear? Oh, I gotta get that. I gotta get that article. I'm opening it up and you see the bat with the stupid freaking fangs and the human ear on it? Scientists have figured out how to put a bat on a human ear. More at 7. It's unbelievable. So guys, when you realize you're in the Twilight Zone, if you don't speak about it, you just become the Twilight Zone. You start mouthing the insanity. You mouth the insanity. You say things like, oh, I didn't get the latest one, and I think that's why I got the sieve. No, you moron. Because the crap they gave you never worked in the first place. That's why you got the sieve. I don't want to offend anybody. People were forced to do things, and that's the biggest issue I have with our government, is that they pretend now that they didn't. They pretend now that they didn't say, if you don't, you lose your fucking job. They pretend that you did it voluntarily, and that now the consequences of something that didn't work, and the thing is still fucking out there. Oh, curb 2 weeks to get over the curve. 4 years later. Right? What are we talking about over here? And I shouldn't be saying, I don't want to offend anybody. And I don't want them to pull me down for saying this. This is truth. Why can't you say truth? Oh, sorry, it didn't go the way you wanted. And from day one, I said this would be the outcome and you held me down. Now it was the outcome. And now I'm still going to be held down for saying, see, I was right. Told you so. Told you so. Guys, go out there, get your 9,747 masks. But guys, this is the reason. We have an ultimate protector. We were created. You can't go out into this world. You can't look at everything in this world and say God doesn't exist. That is insanity. What's insanity is they're almost done with this, right? But check this out. So they're trying to fool the world to believe that God doesn't exist and self exists. You are more important than God, than the creator of everything. And your feelings are so much bigger than truth. Believe me. Some amazing creature, being, if we're in its image, it's similar to us. I don't think that's the case, but if the most amazing, beautiful mind, perfect in every way, perfect math, they don't even understand the math. But when they start to understand the math, they're like, holy freaking cow. For this to make sense, the math involved, you'd have to know that math for it to be as perfect as it is. So no, but that just happened naturally from an explosion on a flat plane, but we're not on a flat plane. But that's a flat plane, the explosion is. Guys, there's so many holes in everything we're told. And I don't want to be that conspiracy theory guy. I'm not. I'm the positivity guy who's seeing all of the, I'd say, these missiles that are coming in towards our freedom, towards our just pursuit of happiness. Everything is a threat to our pursuit of happiness. That has nothing to do with what they tell you it has to do with. This is a destruction and division of humanity to fit their means. And we're just here for the ride, right? Are we here for the ride? Are you guys just on? Are you like, yeah, get on the bus. Back of the bus. Oh yeah, we're back there again. We are all at the back of the bus. Every single human being is at the back of the bus. And the leadership is at the front. Don't you dare sit at the front of the bus. Don't you dare. You're not welcome there. You're not worthy. You're beneath. You're just a paltry human. Tell me I'm wrong. Am I wrong? It seems to me like we've lost our special part of this world. This part where we can just become something without the people that control things totally stopping you. Literally. Canceling, taking you out of play because you say things differently than they want to be said. We've seen movies like this forever. When there's only one message that reverberates because that's what the people the people in charge want to be known. And then all the other outliers, everybody else is like, wait a second, are literally thrown in jail, murdered, whatever. It's ridiculous. Throughout time, the good people get sidelined, the good people get taken out because evil is too powerful on this earthly plane. Which should also remind you why there's more than us. There's something so much bigger than us because of how much evil there is here. These people don't care. They're only after what's on this plane. We need to elevate. I don't know what the answer is as far as how, guys. I mean, I never understood this whole thing. Well, the only way to heaven is through Jesus, through Yahushua. I don't think that's accurate because not everybody in the world knows who Yahushua is. And they all call him Jesus. So I think it's a bunch of horseshit created by man. Catholic, I mean, I'm Catholic. I was born into the Roman Catholic Church and it's made up. It's made up. Jesus didn't say, I want you to make this church and here's what I want you to focus on and this is what you do and how you collect money and tithing and this, that. This is all man just figuring out how to scheme and make money on the back of the savior of our planet. It doesn't mean the man is made up. It doesn't mean the message is made up. It doesn't mean that when I wear this, I don't mean it and that I don't believe that Yahushua is our actual savior. He is. He just died as a Jewish person. He was a leader, but he was the Son of God. He was the image of God. Now, again, whether you believe that or not, when you have a child, if you don't use Jesus as the role model for your child, what is wrong with you? It's the greatest role model in human history. Who are you going to have him role model after? Oh, we'll have him do it over the other guy who was a rapist. No, you do the perfect human. You hope your child can walk the path of truth. So, especially this Christmas, when it's not actually Yeshua's birthday, but we celebrate it as such. It's like you have to separate yourself from all these things. You have to understand you can't change the date of Christmas. You can't celebrate Christmas in April when you think it is, or in March when you think it is. You have to follow the traditions of the world you live in. But you can separate yourself from them and say, well, this is the real truth, and this is how I see it and how I breathe it. I don't call him Jesus anymore, because his name was not Jesus. His name was Yahshua. And you know what? If a name has power, that sounds more powerful to me anyway. Yahshua sounds a lot more powerful than Jesus. If you look it up and you ask AI specifically, how did Jesus get his name? You'd say the Roman Catholic Church decided to make Jesus a special, because I said, how does the name Yahshua translate to Jesus when everybody else has been Joshua? And well, yeah, everybody else in history has been Joshua, except Yahshua, who's now Jesus. He's got a special name because he's so special. So wait, you changed his name? His name has power and you changed it? Because it's so special. You changed his name. His name has power. He died as Yahshua. He didn't die as Jesus Christ. He died as Yahshua Christ. And I don't know what the big deal is when I say this. Dude, call him Jesus. I don't care. When he shows up and he's like, who are you talking to the South American people over there with the same name? Who's Jesus? Oh, well, he knows the feeling in your heart. He does? You know that for sure? You know he's literally feeling your feelings? Well, it's... I would have a better... Like, this is what I would think it's more like. You ever seen the movie with, what's his name? Brooks. Something Brooks. I can't think of his name right now. He's a funny guy, curly hair. And he played this movie with Glenn Close where it was Meryl Streep, where he dies and then he goes to what he thinks is heaven. And instead it's like purgatory. And he's there and he's watching his entire life replay with this like judge. There's it's like a courtroom. It's like you're in court and you're rewatching life to see if you were a good person or a bad person. Like St. Peter's sitting there. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that makes way more sense than that he shows up and he's like, oh, I remember what you ate for breakfast on December 23rd, 2023. I think that's mental. He's not going to know that when you call him some other name, you really mean Yahshua. You just don't want to call him that. You just don't want to call him by his real name. And it's weird when I hear priests say it over and over, Jesus. And I'm like, wait a second, but his name is not Jesus. Why are we doing this? Why are we leading people towards falsehoods? The path of truth has always been this way. When people divert, you bring them back. Maybe that's why other religions have had a problem with the Catholic Church or whatever. But my understanding of this is a name has power if you use the actual name. If you change the name because you think that you know better. Who's the person who's like, well, guys, hold on. I got an idea. Oh, what's that, Cardinal Babadoodoo? Oh, I was thinking that maybe we should change his name. Wait, the name that has power? You want to change the name that has power? Yeah, I was thinking like we should change it. You're like, Yahshua? What do you want to go with, Joshua? You want to go with Jesus, Joshua the Christ? No. That's just too like, like Joshua the Christ. Nah, no, it's not special. That's not special. How about we go with Jesus, because like Greek, they did the Isa, Jesus, they didn't have a J and we have J's now. We go Jesus. What do you guys think? Yeah, sounds like a good idea. But then there's one guy in the back. Guys, but his name is Yahshua. You're canceled. You're society, right? At the time, society's like, no, this is the new normal. And you got to go with it, right? Or else you're the guy in the back who's speaking truth and you get canceled for it. That was Cardinal Mervin. He's probably one of the best cardinals in history, and you didn't even know about it. Because of that one meeting with the changing the name, Yahshua to Jesus Christ. Only Yahshua in history to become Jesus, by the way, guys. That's a little fun fact for you. The Roman Catholic Church. I got to take off my hat for a second. Guys, this one's, a hat off moment here. I'm having a hat off moment. All right. I put down the fish hat, the fish god. Put it down. What if we changed his name? I'm just spitballing. I'm just spitballing here, guys. But what if we change the name of Yahshua, the Savior of all? Came here, God's image on earth to save us all, to heaven, right? I got a really good one, okay? Because Yahshua, people are going to have a hard time saying it. What if we go with Jesus? No, hold on. And we throw on the end, Christ, because he's the Son of God. You do the Christ. So it's Jesus Christ. That name, it seems, that has power, right, guys? No. That's a hat off moment right there, guys. He took the hat off, the Pope. Abe wants to know what the Cardinal's name was again. Are you talking about Baba da Doo? That guy was the one who came out with the first idea, Schnick Schnaven back there, that guy, he was the best one ever. This is the guy who should have been Pope. Should have been Pope, He would have had my vote if I was around in 272 AD when they decided to create the name. Does anybody know what year they came up with the name, Yahshua's name, and they changed it to Jesus? I got to know now. I got to know. We're going to quickly check. We're doing a Google search. Oh, goodness. This is what we do sometimes. We're in the process. Google, how do we, when was Jesus' name created? That's the best way to say it. There we go. Modern English Jesus derives from early Middle English Iesu, attested from the 12th century. So, guys, in the 1100s. Hold on a minute. Oh, my goodness. The name participated in the great vowel shift in the late Middle English 15th century, guys. So I'm sorry, in the 1400s. Let's just quickly talk about this, guys, because I got to understand this. So Jesus is born, let's call it 0 AD and whatever. Okay, so he's born 0 AD. He lives till 32, right? I think he's 32. He gets murdered. And so it's 32 AD, and we lose the savior of our world. 1300 and 50 years later, they changed his name to Jesus. So for 1,300 years, they're like, Yahshua. They called him by his name. His name did have power. My 1775 Bible back there, guys. It calls him Jesus in there as well. So that was clearly, that's why I want to see the 14th century Bible, where he called him Yahshua still. Or I think it was still Iusa, because the Greek, they translated to Greek. We don't have the original, from the library of Gutenberg Bible. I think there is a Gutenberg Bible, isn't there? Is that the oldest Bible? Let's find out what the oldest Bible is. It's not my 1775 Bible. Definitely not. Let's see. Oldest Bible. I think it'd probably be like the Sea Scrolls, right? Let's see. Is the Ethiopian Bible the oldest Bible in the world? The Ethiopian Bible is the oldest and most complete Bible on earth. How old is it? Can we find that out? The Geneva Bible is one of the most historically significant translations of the Bible into English, preceding the King James Version by 51 years. So, guys, what do you think about this, right? 1,400 years later, they decide to change his name. Fully change his name. They did it through the translations, but there was a period of time for, I would say, the first 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 years where they were calling him Yahshua because that's his name. And when you read how his name had power and they were calling him out. So I feel like the strongest we were ever and closest we were ever to Yahshua was in the first couple hundred years after he passed. And now we're living on some faith that's been created by man. And most of it has to do with the fact that they need to keep the doors open. And there's so many different controversies going on in the church I was brought up in specifically. The Catholic Church is like, what happened there, you know? And I know what happened. These are human beings that are asked this task of serving God. And let them serve God, but let them have families. Oh, well, they can't. They can't focus on families and also focus on God. Yes, they can. Okay? Yes, they can. Because you see what happens when they don't. Oh, but not all of them. It doesn't freaking matter. One's bad enough. Let them get married. Okay? That's just the bottom line. Let them get married. It's mental. And that's just my personal feeling. You know, like they're not doing anything right there. It's like the Pope. Like, oh my goodness. You look at the way the popes basically ran the world the first 400 or 500 years after Jesus, after Yeshua. They murdering and like they just took over the power that is still there today. Vatican, they have their own country. Vatican City is its own country within Italy. What? Wait, how does that work? Well, the most powerful, religion on planet Earth. It's a government. This is weird, man. All of it is so weird. So I don't know if there's a day that comes where we're still here and we see Yeshua surfing on the clouds coming back. And I mean, I see like it could be because this is the craziest I've ever seen this world. But I don't know if that's going to happen while we're here, if it happens, thousands of years after we're gone, just like it's been since he was here. Who knows? Could be a blink of an eye since he was here in his mind. I wrote a song once, powerful moment, about how it was for someone who just lost someone. I got to figure out where that song is. And the line was that, please don't miss me while I'm gone. Because though it's a lifetime to you, it's me closing my eyes and opening them and I'll see you again. And I thought that was extremely powerful to come out of the moment. That we miss these people that leave us here. And it's such a burden on us. But for them, they close their eyes. And the next time they open them, which is like this, you are there. And it's been 40 years. So don't pine after I'm gone. Because I will see you again. And make the best of those years you have left. Because I'm just closing my eyes and opening them. And we're meeting. So a lot of the things that come out of the songs here on the show. Oh, goodness. So, guys, I have to get running, I think. What time is it right now? Yeah, it's 1:15. I should be back late tonight. Going to visit my father later, and I want to spend some time with him. I can't stand the fact that he's at the hospital here over the Christmas holiday. And so if you can say a positive word for him, say for Mark's dad, just a positive word, a prayer. I do believe that intention works that way. If I ask you to direct it towards my dad, you don't even have to necessarily have it. You could just send it out and it will go out into the ether. So, and again, that kind of refutes my entire conversation earlier. So maybe like Jesus or Yahushua clearly is more aware than we are and does understand everything. So if we could put intention out and it could be directed to a specific person, then he would be able to gather that information and understand. My feeble mind can't comprehend this concept that when I do meet him, he's going to be thinking about every moment of my life. I just don't think that's the case. I think it's right there in the moment. There's a decision made based on the gravity of all of your decisions. But there's probably what's that guy's name? The Brooks. I can't think of his name. He's a funny actor. Not Mel Brooks, but something else Brooks. Harold Brooks. I can't think of his name. But they're in purgatory, and he's watching every scene of his life replay. And he's like, oh, man, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I stole that toothbrush. All these weird things. He's like, oh, my God, it's all on camera. And it's like, yeah, I'm not sitting here like reading your mind. I'm watching your life over again. We had cameras everywhere. It's funny, when I was a kid, I used to feel like that. I was like, I think that there's cameras everywhere, and we're in the Truman Show. Like, seriously. There's a world out there that's watching us. And like, even now, I'm like, when I say stuff like that, I get a little weirded out. Like, they're taking my feed, and they're literally watching it somewhere else in the universe. We don't get people here to watch it. So I'm pretty sure the most creative show on planet Earth is being seen somewhere, not on planet Earth, though. And I say that again because we put out so much music. 9 feature films, 209 songs. We write songs every single night on a drum that I invented. So this is like, we're doing some really creative stuff here on this show. And I have to think that this stream is finding it to some millions and millions of people on the planet, you know? And if you can show up there, if you were able to take a transport down, and then you're there, and you're watching the Mark and Spire show, and you're like, see, I knew it. They all have the t-shirts on. Everybody's wearing a Mark and Spires t-shirt.